All right, I've been asked to do this for a while, so I'm going to do it for you guys. This is going out to a very specific person. I'm going to show you guys in a very slow and easy to understand guide on how to start your basics of your streaming journey. First off, I just want to congratulate you on taking the first step that a lot of people are afraid to take, and that is getting started and actually having the bravery to put yourself out there. So, first off, we are going to start with what program should you use. Now, there is a lot of different programs that are available. There is OBS, Streamlab OBS. That's all I know. So, I'm going to do a basic guide for Streamlabs OBS. In my opinion, it is probably the most user-friendly that you can get your hands on. So, we're going to go ahead and open up our browser. I'm going to go ahead and make sure you guys see this, so you guys know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and look it up. We're going to do Streamlabs OBS. So this is the, right here, this is the program I recommend for first time people. I'm only going to be covering the basics. I will, if you guys need it, I will go more in depth. So let's go ahead and download it. It's an all-in-one suite for live streamers. So we're going to go ahead and download the Streamlabs desktop version for those with Windows. I'm going to go ahead and save. Mozzarella Firefox can fuck off. Get out of here. Okay, should be done now. So we're going to go ahead and locate it. It should be in my downloads. Yes, it is right there. So we're going to go ahead and run the exe. Yep, we're going to give it permission. Wants to control the app. Yep, go ahead. Okay, we're just going to agree. Just let it install where it needs to. This is going to be a no-nonsense guide. Okay, it's going to download what it needs. Taking its sweet time. There it goes. We're going to go ahead and let it run, so it'll pull it up. Now, I will tell you guys, one thing you should do before you do anything is go into, right-click on your Streamlabs desktop shortcut. Go to the file location. Here is your Streamlabs OBS exe right here. We're going to go ahead and right-click it. We're going to go to Properties. We are going to go to, I think it's Security. Let me actually look. No, go to, where is it? I just saw it. Go to Compatibility tab and go ahead and run this program as administrator. That will basically allow it to run more smooth. So I'm going to hit apply. So now, whenever I boot it up, you should get a confirmation that it wants to run an administrator. I'm going to hit yes. Okay. Now, it has been a long time since I've used this particular program, but it still shows all my stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all this. We're going to start from scratch. This takes me back. Let's go ahead and get rid of everything. Yeah, you need at least one. Okay, let's see. So, let's go ahead and go through the basic setup. So, let me make sure you guys can see that we'll go full screen. I am going to hide my camera for this part. That way you guys can see everything. I'll keep my SpongeBob right there. So let's go to our settings first. So general, you can pretty much leave everything alone here for basics. Multi-streaming, if for some reason you want to stream to YouTube, Twitch, Kick, all at the same time, you would upgrade to Ultra. Let's go to stream. So we're gonna get set up. So this is where it can differ a lot between YouTube and Twitch and Kick. So we're gonna do streaming services. And let's just, for example, you want to stream to, let's say you want to stream to YouTube. We'll do YouTube. We're going to do primary YouTube ingest server. And then the stream key, we're just going to leave it as it is. We're going to go to output. And this is where a lot of certain things can change. So with streaming, audio track 1, that means all the audio will be on one track, which most streaming services require. Encoder, I keep it on AMD HW-H264. Another one is just software H264. And then if you have an NVIDIA, you might have another option for NVIDIA. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I would recommend doing some research on what is more common to run. So we are going to also enforce a streaming service encoder. Now, most streaming services cap out at 6,000 bit rate. So we're going to leave it at 6,000 bit rate. And what bit rate is, without going into too much depth, is just imagine your monitor is a bunch of pixels, right? It's a bunch of pixels, and they all make up what's called bits. Again, this is layman terms. The more bit rate you have, the more smooth your video will look in a recording or in a live stream, at the cost of more computer resources. So I would recommend just sticking at 6,000 bit rate. That is like your best starting point. We'll go ahead and leave the preset on balanced. We'll do profile mean, max B frames 2. So we're just going to leave it as it is. Recording, I'm not going to go into this because we're not going to be covering recording unless that's what you guys want to see. So next is audio. Now, what I like to do is I like to disable all these audio devices that it comes with. And I'll show you guys why right now. So, okay, my Google is bothering me.
And choosing to disable default audio devices.
Okay, it decided that it wanted to be stupid and okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this stuff so I can show you guys. I swear I'm prepared. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Alright, we're just gonna change the name on this one to main. So, how it works is you have scenes, and then when you go to a scene, it will have sources. For example, let's go ahead and make another scene. We'll just name this new scene. We'll leave it as is. Let's go back to main, okay? I'm going to show you guys a best way to do it. I'm going to add a source, and this looks overwhelming, okay? We'll get into this. I'll try to keep it as simple as possible for people who are just starting. There's a couple things you're going to want to grab right away. First thing, game capture. Self-explanatory. Most games, when you play them, will be automatically captured by game capture. So we want game capture. We're going to add the source. We're going to leave it on auto. Most of the time, you're not going to want the cursor showing, but For now, we'll just leave it. We'll leave it as it is. So, next thing we're going to need is if you have a mic, if you have a camera that you want to stream to, you would do video capture. However, I'm already using my camera to record this video for you guys, so I will not be able to show you guys that camera at the same time. So we're going to next put in for example, let's do a chat box. This is if you wanted your chat to show up on your screen during your stream. So I'm not going to bother with that, but you can. I'll just show you. Let's go ahead and add the source. We'll just name chat box. We'll do theme. We'll just leave it as clean. We're going to leave this as is. Again, I recommend going into this, playing with it if you want. So if we chat, or if you see chat, you will see it here on your stream, just for example. So remember how I said that each scene has different sources. So we have a chat box and game capture. So if we go to new scene, you have completely separate sources. So you can have certain things on certain scenes, maybe a full camera, maybe just the gameplay, maybe no chat box. Again, play around with it. Next thing we're going to need is you're probably going to want where is it? Your audio. For example, my microphone. I'm going to do audio input. Again, input is audio going into the computer, i.e. microphone. So we're going to hit audio input capture, add source, and we'll just name this. So my mic is a Razer Siren. So I'm just going to put Razer mic, simple, add source. Just going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to select the device. And again, it's the Razer Siren X. So I select it. So now it'll be capturing audio from my microphone. You can see it over here. The reason why I disabled why did I say that like that? Now the reason why, let's go back. The reason why I disabled audio capture for these devices was because now I can make a source specifically for my audio, and I can control it over here. Now you see how the microphone is like picking up on everything? I'll stop talking. It is picking up on my case fans. It is picking up on all the background audio. So I'm going to fix that real quick. Actually, I will leave that for the advanced tutorial if you guys want to see that. Next thing we want, basics. Remember, this is basics. We got a game capture because we want to be able to see the games. We got the chat box. Again, that is completely up to you whether or not you want the stream chat to see what everybody is saying. And we need a microphone or something to capture our voice. Next thing is we want our audience to be able to hear the audio output, which is like music, the game. There's a couple different ways to do it. You can try doing the application audio, which will capture only the specific application. So for example, you have YouTube open. You can hit application audio. I'll go ahead and show you guys just for continuity. And it wants a window. Let's say we wanted to capture, for whatever reason, we wanted to capture OBS. So it'll only capture that audio from that program. We're going to go ahead and exit. We're going to delete this. Now, add a audio output capture. We'll just, okay. For example, I have earbuds. The earbuds are what I hear out of. So I would want my audience to hear the same thing. There's other techniques, different audio hardware that you can filter it through. That way they can hear it and you can't. But again, this is just the basics. So let's just say this is earbuds. This is what I use primarily. So I'm going to do device, and my earbuds are speakers high definition audio device. It differs depending on what you use, okay? So go ahead and select that. We're just going to leave this on the thing. So let's go ahead and exit out. So here is earbuds. Now there's no audio coming through my PC, but let's go ahead and boot up a tab. I'll go ahead and move this to the side. And then let's just click on a random Twitch stream. I got it on the background. We're going to go ahead and turn the volume on. Of course, I have it on the wrong audio source. It would help if I had it on the right one. Give me one sec. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. Okay. So, audio.
Just make sure you say goodbye to it.
So now, the stream is playing through the earbuds. Now, the reason why you can't hear it is because we're only listening to what I'm recording through my other software right now. For example, so I'm just going to show you my Twitch. Audio is playing, and it is showing up right here in earbuds, right? Because that's how I have my thing set up. Next, we want to go into sources, and then again, video capture if you want. None of this stuff is, all this other stuff is just kind of hit or miss. So you can see it's looking for a game to capture. Now, let's say I don't want the audience to sit on the looking for a game to capture screen. Good way to do it is just to do display capture. Now this will allow them to see what you see, your monitor, your whole monitor. Go ahead and do done. And how these programs work. Again, I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. Your sources are on a layer basis. So stuff near the top will be what is shown, if that makes sense. So for example, let's say I have game capture. Let's say I put it right underneath display capture. Display capture is going to override game capture, and it's going to show my monitor. Now let's say I move the two around. I want game capture at top. You can see that now it is the forefront of the stream. So play with that how you will. Again, this can go back into scenes too. So let's say, for example, I want to do display capture on one scene. So I'll put it on new scene, display capture. Now, watch this. I swap to main. The game captures there. And let's go ahead and get rid of display capture here. So now, here's display capture, swap scenes. Oh, sorry. This is game capture. I swap scenes. Now here's display capture. And again, you can do this during the live stream. Again, you want certain things on certain scenes. That way you can kind of build like a environment for your stream. So now that we got it game capture ready, we want to make sure that our audios are balanced somewhat. So let me go ahead and just boot up a random game. I'll just boot up Castle Crashers. Let's just boot up Castle Crashers. It's the first thing I saw. For some reason, it's not full screen. Let me make sure the audio channel is on the right one. It is not, so I'm going to put that on default. Okay. So, what you're going to see here is, let me see, how do I keyboard? Okay, let me make sure. Settings. game full screen. It will hit enter. Oops. Okay, full screen on, accept settings. Okay, so it is full screened. So now what I'm going to show you guys is what it looks like on the stream. So game capture is on, but you can see the game is frozen for some reason. So there's a couple ways to get around this. First off, let me actually pull this to the side. Actually, I'll keep it right here. So it should be capturing what the game sees, but it's not. It's because it should be showing, wait for it to, should be showing this in the stream, but it's not. It's frozen. So for this, what I would recommend doing is setting up a different capture source. You can do window capture, or again, just display capture. We're going to try window capture first. So add source. We're just going to call this Castle Crashers. We're going to select the window that it's on. I do not see it here. My guess is because it does not want to be recorded. So let's try a different game. This is not a good example. Okay. So let's go ahead and delete that. Let's try a more modern game and see what that does. Let's do Schedule 1. We'll boot up Schedule 1. Okay, it's going now. Yeah, please don't do drugs. Okay. Next, let's go ahead and show the stream. Okay, game capture. It's hard to tell. Let's just continue. That way we can see if things are moving around. Again, make sure that you're testing your stream stuff. Make sure that it's working before you start the stream. All right, so this is this. Let me go ahead and go somewhere where something is moving. Let's just go over here. I want to go somewhere where there's constant movement. That way we can test to see if it's working properly. Let's see. Of course, nobody wants to... Okay, this should be good right here. So we're going to go to stream. So you can see it's being captured properly. So this is what you would see, or the stream would see, is this right here. So game capture is working. The game audio is being sent into the earbuds. Remember, most of the time, the audience is going to want to hear you over the game. See how this bar right here, this is my audio going into the microphone, is much higher. Here's the game audio. It's much lower. Again, if you want me to go more in depth with the finer details, we can in a later video, but I want to set you guys up with the basics. So we got the game capture. We got the way that people are going to hear the game. We have the input capture for the microphone. People are going to be able to hear you talk. And then we have a chat box set up. Most of the time, you're not going to want a chat box unless you want your audience to see. You want your audience to see what your chat is saying, obviously. So that is something hit or miss. Okay, I'm going to get arrested. That's cool. I don't plan on saving. So that is basically all you need to know for the basics. Now, when you start your stream and set up your YouTube RT MPS, it is going to ask you to sign into your YouTube if that's where you want to stream. Same thing for your Twitch. Let me make sure we have everything right. In video, you want your base canvas resolution to be your default resolution, which is, for my monitor, is 1920 by 1080. My output scaled, unless you have a computer where your like base canvas is 4K and you don't want to stream at 4K, then you would do output scaled. For example, I want to stream at 1096 by 616. Not going to do that. But now what I see when I'm working with it is 1920 by 1080, right? That's my resolution size. But when I stream, they will see a resolution of 1096 by 616. Most of the time, you're not going to want to do that unless you're streaming on like 4K hardware and you don't want to stream 4K. You want to make sure that it's set to bicubic for downscale filter. Again, we're not downscaling, so it doesn't really matter. We want to do FPS type common FPS value, and you're going to want to make sure your common FPS value is set to 60. That is 60 frames per second. That is default by most streams. Again, you can play around with this other stuff with hotkeys, go into advanced. Most of this stuff doesn't matter. You don't really have to mess with this anything. The rest is completely stuff you can play around with. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick recap for you guys. And then if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer. This video is made for a specific person, so if you have any questions, you could always just call me instead of putting it in the chat or in the comments. So let's go back over it. We're going to go slow. Hope you guys are ready. So you want to go to Streamlabs website. Let's go ahead and pull it up. Streamlabs OBS. You're going to go to the website and you're going to hit Streamlabs desktop download. Is then going to download it to your computer. You're going to open up your downloads. You're going to run the setup. Once it's done running, what you're going to want to do next is you're going to want to give it administrator privileges. Let's go ahead and close the game. Knowing my luck, it saved when that happened. You're going to right click on your icon, Streamlabs desktop, go to properties, go to compatibility, and then check run this program as administrator. You're going to hit OK. Oops, sorry, you guys can barely see that. You're going to check run this program as administrator. Hit OK. You're going to boot it up. And then the first things you're going to want to set up is make sure that in your stream, you have it set to the service you want to stream to, YouTube, Twitch, etc. Server primary YouTube, stream key, leave it as it is. It's going to want you to log into your YouTube. Go to your output. Most likely your output mode is going to be on simple. I would recommend it going on advanced. Audio track 1, encoder. Do your research. If you're not sure, if you have NVIDIA, use NVIDIA. I think it's NHEVC. Do that. AMD, do the same thing, HEVC, or research and figure out what is more common. For bitrate, 6000 is the max that most streaming services are going to allow you to stream at. Preset balanced. Unless you have a really good computer, you can focus on quality. Again, a lot of this stuff depends on your hardware, so make sure you test it. Gonna hit audio. I would recommend disabling your audio devices because you would rather make a, let's move this, you would rather make a scene dedicated to that audio device. Go to your video. Make sure your base canvas is set to your output that you're normally at. i.e. 2K, 4K, 1920 by 1080. You want to make sure it's set to that. If you plan on downscaling because you don't want to stream at 4K or any of the higher ones, you're going to select this and choose the output you want it to be downscaled to. It will increase the workload on your computer, but that is there for you if you want it. Next, make sure it's on bicubic. Again, you're not downscaling. You can just leave it as it is. Unless you are, then put it on bicubic. You want it on common FPS values, and then leave it at 60. That is what you want for your settings. You're going to hit done, right? So you're going to set up a scene, name it main. What do you want your main scene to be? Well, I want it to be gameplay, my audio, my camera. Game capture will record the game. A lot of times it won't. A lot of times it will not work. Game capture, so you could do window capture. Or you could do display capture and capture it through your monitor instead. Next is you want the audience to hear your game or hear anything you're doing, like audio or whatever. So I put it on earbuds, that's mine, so then you guys can hear it. And then Razer mic, that's my mic. You want to be able to talk into it and let the audience hear you. And then chat box is something that you can or can't, you can, or if you don't want to, you don't have to, if you want the chat to be on the live stream that people can see. Most of the time, when they're just talking and it's just them and the camera, then they're going to do the chat box. Most of the time, they're going to leave it as is. And then if you want, you can set up a different scene. For example, if I want to show the monitor. And then that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, once you're ready, you can hit go live. It'll connect to your YouTube. And then it'll probably ask you to put in a title, a thumbnail. I can't do it right now because I'm currently doing a live stream on a different one. Link in the description of my video. For my Kick and Twitch, we multi-stream. We're going to be playing some fun games after I'm done recording this. But if you guys have any questions, I know I just covered the bare minimum and I tried to cover it as slowly as possible. I normally don't do videos like this, so for my first instructions guide, hopefully it's enough. If not, leave your questions. I'll do my best to answer. But that's about it. If you guys, again, have any questions, let me know in the comments. And then I will talk to you guys later, all right?